Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be creating this image in our engineering notebook. It's on page 3. So just to kind of help you guys out, to remind you, this green part, that's your front view. The green part's your front view. So this would be your front view. The blue part, it's kind of hard to see. The blue part is your right view. So this is your right view. And this red part up here, that's your top view. The red part's your top view, so this would be your top view here. So depending on how you hold this is your view that you're seeing. So if I were to hold it like this, which is the way I see it on my screen, like this would be your front view. And on my front view, I see that it's a 2 by 2, and then it goes over 4, then up 1, over 2, up 1, over 2. So this is the form I see as my front view. If I were to see as a 2D shape flat, this would be my front view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my engineering notebook, and here's my front view. Here is my right view. Here is my top view, right? Top, front, and right. And I'm going to draw my front view, which according to the worksheet is like this. So this is my front, oops. This is my front view. So imagine it being a 2D flat surface. So this is what I'm going to sketch out, this 2 by 4 by 1 by 2 by 1 by 2 shape here. Now, since this is my first one, it doesn't really matter where I put it for drawing. After that, everything does count. So I'm going to draw this, a 2 by 4. So 2 squares down, 4 across. 1, 2, 3, 4. We count the squares that are on our graph paper. Up 1, over 2. So over 2, up 1, and over 2. Just like this. There's no hidden lines or anything. So this is my front view. I don't draw the interior lines. We're going to pretend like this is a solid shape. So this is the shape that if I look at it from here and I hold it, this is the #1 reason we gave you linking cubes, is because orthographic really comes alive when you hold these in your hand and you like, you're moving them around. You're manipulating them. So this is a 2 by 4. This is what I just drew. Now, if we go back to my worksheet, now I'm going to draw my, and you see here, it's right here. It's a 2 by 2 by 4, up 1, things like that, right? It's okay, Dylan. So 2, 4, 1, just like this, okay? So that's what I just drew in my engineering notebook. Now my right view. So you take, the beauty of having this in your hand is you take it and you rotate it to the right view. Boom. And you have it in a way where it kind of looks like it's, this is the only thing. It's a flat surface, like a 2D shape. So if I put it in like in the camera here, you guys don't see this part, you just see this part. So when I hold it in front of me, right, all I see is 2 squares going down and 1 square going over. So it's a 2 by 1, 2 up, over 1, right? So that's what I'm going to draw as my right view. I ignore everything else. This is the only view I see. All of a sudden, like my shape changed to a 2 by 1. All the rest of it's like hidden. But once you have one drawn, this is effective. So here, I'm going to draw, I can lightly draw my lines, my arrows, to help me guide myself and where to draw it. I can't just like draw anywhere. This is my like limitation border lines, right? So if I hold this on the right view, just like this is what I'm going to draw in this space. And if you do it correctly, that's the only thing that really fits. You see how it's, I can only go up 2. I can go over as many as I want, but I only need to go over 1. So I can get rid of my arrows. So this is what I drew, a 2 by 1. It's right here, and I can draw a solid line here. Why do I draw this solid line? Because there's a cutout here, and it's on this side, so it's a solid line right there, solid line right there. So this is my front view. This is my right view. And like the beauty of this is you're holding it in your hands, and you can see, like if you hold it at this angle in front of your face, you see like, oh, it's 2 by 1, right? You're holding it like basically like this. The kids who have an easier time understanding this is they're literally having this in your hand and you're rotating. The kids who have this on their desk and they don't touch it, they do have a hard time visualizing this, right? So we're rotating the object in our hands. And I'm so grateful that I was able to give you guys these because it does help a lot in understanding this. Okay, so I'm gonna be quiet for 30 seconds to catch up. We're good? Okay, now here comes like the tricky part, but it's not really tricky. What happens is it's just it's a step that you have to do correctly, because then if you don't do this step correctly, the top view is incorrect. The alignment is incorrect. Okay, so in quadrant 1 here, where we're used to graphing, where we learn how to graph in quadrant 1, here you're gonna draw, remember it's 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. It's a diagonal, perfect diagonal line. So here, the slope is 1. The equation is y equals x. If we were talking math terms, start at the origin, 0, 0. Just like that, right? So we do this so we know where the limitations are on your top view. So I can draw my arrow going up and over, up and over, right? And then here for my front view, go up and up. So the limitations are basically guiding me that I need to draw my shape basically right in here. This is the space that's available for me to draw my shape. And to tell you the truth, it maximizes the space. Like this is the only thing that you need. If you draw this perfectly, the only shape that fits within the boundaries is the shape that you're drawing. It's like, it's magic. It's perfect. So this is my front view. This is my top view, right? And if I go back, this is isometric, it's at an angle. If I go to my front view, it would be that right there. I'm sorry, this is my top view. I apologize. Front view or right view, and then it would be my top view right here. So this is my top view. Let's pretend it's 2D. So this is my top view, so it'd be a 1 by 4. So 1 by 4. And if you do your boundaries correctly, the only shape that fits right here is a 1 by 4. So here to here, that's actually 4 spaces. And here to here, that's only 1. And it's a perfect 4 by 1. Your top view. It's the only thing that really fits. And I'm going to draw my line right here because there's a cutout and it's on the top view. So I'm going to do a solid cutout line right there. Any questions? If we go back to the worksheet, what we just drew is right here. This is the answer. And notice the dotted lines are like your boundary lines, and then they drew that like diagonal line right there. And so the green part is your front, the blue part is your right, and the red part is your top view, okay? So they did this one for us, and instead of just looking at it and admiring it, I asked us, we did it as well to practice, right? The more you practice, the better you will become. Do not be afraid of trying. If you try to make a mistake, you are learning. If you just sit there and not try at all, you're not learning. Trust me. You have to get in it and do it. And this is why we use a pencil with an eraser. All right, so here it is. If we go down a little page, page 4. So we are going to call this one number 1. This one's going to be number 2. Okay. If I go to your page, this is going to be number 1, and this one's going to be number 2. So you're going to do the orthographic drawings of number 1 and number 2 on page 19. So this is number 1, number 2. And then when you're done with those and you're working really fast, but I would just make sure before you go on that you have these correct by checking in with me, because then on the next page will be number 3 and number 4. And these will be done on page 20. Okay, for those of you who are really fast, but don't go too fast without checking in with me. I want to make sure that you're actually doing them correctly. Okay, so here, I'll guide you with the first one, but then the rest are kind of on your own. If you're, so here is the number 1. So the shape of this doesn't change. Your starting point does change. Your front view changes, so all your answers are a little bit different, but the original shape is the same. So now this is my front view, right? So it's a little bit different than the example we did. So I'm gonna hold it like a P. So when I see it, when I'm staring at it, it looks like the letter P. It looks like the letter P. That's my front view. So that means that I'm gonna be drawing what looks like to me the letter P on the front view. And then the right view is this part right here. This is the right view, all the way straight down. It's a 1x4. And then, give me 1 second. And then this is my top view on top. A 1x2 would be my top. So start with the letter P and draw it in your front view. So everybody start right here. Draw in your notebook the front view, the letter P. So get a 30-second head start. Sean, what's your question?
Sorry. When are we gonna start using the Chromebooks for schoolwork? I mean, for not schoolwork. Sorry.
Yeah. We should be learning how to use the online 3D program. Hopefully, hopefully by the end of October. It's kind of hard to say because I don't see you every day. So right now you're learning how to draw these 3D shapes on paper. So when we transfer them over to online, it's an easier transition. When I go, okay, look at your front view, look at your right view, look at your top view, you can manipulate it on your computer and you're not sitting there going, what does she mean by right view? It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I drew it on my paper. I can translate that to online. So these little steps will help us when we do the Chromebook activities, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so this, draw it right here. So you should be drawing this shape right here in the front side. Okay, so hopefully you guys did this before I just showed it to you. How many of you thumbs up if you were able to do this part before I did? Thumbs up if you did it before I did. Okay. Okay, good. I'm seeing the thumbs up and the participation. Good, good, good. Very good. All right, awesome. All right. Cool. Okay, so if I go back, now your goal is to try to do this before I do it. Your goal is to do the right view before I do it. Okay, so this right view, this part right here on the right view. But remember to line it up. You got to line it up. So this was my original, oh, let me clear. This is my original front view. Now, if I turn it to the right view, it looks just like this. So you're gonna draw this 4x2 here in your right view. So this shape right here, but remember it has to line up with this one. So fits perfectly a 1x4 with the line here because there's a, there's a cutout right here and it's on this side. Okay, so now, hey, by all means, if you're ahead of me, you're ahead of me, and that's fantastic. But do double check that you did do them correctly. Draw this diagonal line. Yay. So here, over, here, over. And if you do it correctly, the only shape that fits, it's like magic, is here's my front, here's my right, here is my top view. Top view would be, that fits right here. Here is my 1x2. 1x2. And if I see it from this view, from my top view, there is a cutout down here, but you don't see it, right? It's at the bottom of this. You don't see that there's a cutout because of the way we're holding this. So this is a front, this is the right view, and this is the top view. Now you don't see the cutout at all, right? It's at the bottom. So if you don't see it at the top, we're gonna use a hidden line. So a hidden line should go right there. A hidden line should go right there. Now it's super small, so it's a very small hidden line. But because the cutout is at the bottom, you don't see it, so therefore it is a hidden line. Okay? Hopefully it's, this orthographic projection is kind of like you're slowly understanding it little by little. Don't be afraid of it. That's the number one thing. Don't be afraid of it. If you totally mess this up, do it over here, and like, it's okay if you if you do it in a different page. I'm okay with that. Just as long as when you turn in the picture, you know what you're turning in, right? If you end up doing this again on a different page, that's fine. Just make sure you take a picture of it and you upload it. Okay, so let's go back to number 2. So I'm gonna, so this was number 1, we just did it. This is number 2. Now, again, it's the same shape, but now this becomes your front view. This one's your right view, and this one's your top view. Okay, so when you're doing this, you're holding the front view and you're looking at it like the P kind of went and fell over, right? So try to the best of your ability right now to draw the front view here of this shape, okay? So I'm giving you guys some time right now to draw this front view here. Oh, let's see. If I go back, so let me clear my annotates. Okay, so here I did number 2 for you. Hopefully you did it before I did. So I have my P right here, my front view. And then if I look and turn it over, this is my right view. Now it's solid right here, but I know there's a cutout down here. So I included the dotted lines. So if you did not include the dotted lines, you can do this so right now. The hidden lines are here because it's on the bottom. Now here, and then this would be my top view, and I made a mistake. This should actually also be hidden lines, not a solid. So hidden lines up here, because this would be the cutout here. So this is your top view here, and this is the cutout. So top view, it's a 1x4, and when you're doing your boundary lines, your arrows, your limitations, it only fits a 1x4, right? It only fits a 1x4. It fits perfectly. I think it's like magic. It's super cool how that works out. All right, so now your assignment. We have about 20 minutes left in class. Plenty of time. You guys are working a lot faster. You're gonna go to page 20. So we're still on activity 144. So now we're on page 20. You are going to first off do a coordinate plane, about 9x10, 9x9. It's a rough estimate, honestly. So you're going to do number 3 here and number 4 here. If you go to the worksheet, yes, I am recording. I put it on pause, but I recorded again. So if I go to page 5 of this worksheet, this is number 3, and this is number 4. Now I'll give you a clue. This is the front side right here, front. So hold it just like this, like the P is upside down. This is the one, number 4 is every year without fail, kids will mess this up. Kids will actually repeat number 3 as number 4 because they think that this part is your front view. But in reality, this part is not your front view for number 4. This is your right view. But they, like, for some reason, their eyes can't see it. The front view is actually this one. This is your front view. This is actually your right view. So remember, I said at the beginning of the period, like all your answers are different, even though it's the same shape. If you look at all the ones you drew, the front view is all different on all of them. So you can't repeat it. So number 3, this would be your front view. This is your front view on number 4. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you guys a good like 10 minutes or so, and I want you to kind of build these two out in your engineering notebook on page 20, number 3 and number 4. Okay, and yeah, do you have any questions? So right now you're building these, please, on your own.